If I told you that a wealthy man, admired by his community and praised for his success, discovered the true meaning of happiness not in luxury, not in beauty, not in status, but in the heart of a woman considered ordinary, would you believe me? If I told you that this man, surrounded by everything society calls perfect, found peace in the arms of someone the world would not bother to notice, would you think it was possible? This is not a fairy tale. It is a story about the soul, about transformation, and about learning to see with the heart instead of the eyes. His name was Arthur. He was born into a family where reputation meant everything. His father was a powerful businessman, stern and strict, who believed that life was a competition and that only the strongest deserved respect. His mother was elegant, cold, and obsessed with appearances. Since childhood, Arthur was taught a simple rule. The world only values those who shine. So he learned to shine. He studied harder than anyone, worked longer than anyone, and molded himself into the man his family wanted him to be. By the time he was in his 30s, Arthur was a millionaire. He had the cars. He had the house at the top of the hill with glass walls and a breathtaking view. He had the elegant clothes, the expensive watches, and the admiration of everyone around him. People bowed their heads when he walked. They spoke his name with respect. They envied him. They wanted to be him. And yet, when Arthur closed his eyes at night, he felt something hollow. A silence inside him. A coldness that no luxury could warm. He didn't know how to explain it. So he simply kept going. He filled his life with more deals, more travels, more distractions. But the emptiness remained. One afternoon, during a meeting break, Arthur wandered into a neighborhood he had never visited before. It was simple, quiet, the kind of place where children played in the streets and neighbors greeted each other by name. And there, on the corner, stood a small cafe with a weathered sign and mismatched chairs. It did not fit his world, but something drew him inside. The bell above the door chimed softly as he entered. And there she was, Helena. She was arranging pastries on a tray, humming an old song to herself. Her body was fuller, round, soft, a type of body the world often judges without knowing. Her clothes were simple. Her hair was tied loosely. But when she looked up and smiled at Arthur, the world seemed to slow. Her smile was warm. Warm like sunlight after a long night. Warm like comfort. Warm like home. Arthur didn't understand why this moment struck him. But he felt something shift inside him. A feeling he had forgotten existed. He returned the next day. And the next. Helena always greeted him the same way. With kindness, with curiosity, with sincere interest. She didn't care about who he was. She didn't ask what he owned. She didn't try to impress him. She simply talked to him, about the weather, about life, about memories, about hope. And little by little, Arthur found himself waiting for each conversation. Helena had grown up in poverty. She had experienced hunger, loss, and hardship. But she had learned to see beauty in small moments. The smell of fresh rain, the taste of warm bread, laughter shared across a room. While Arthur chased achievements, Helena cherished existence. He began to realize something astonishing. Helena was more alive than anyone he had ever known. One evening, after weeks of returning to the cafe, Arthur said quietly, "I feel like I've spent my whole life looking for something, and I didn't know what it was until now." Helena looked at him for a long moment and replied, "Sometimes the world teaches us to look in the wrong direction." They fell in love. But when Arthur told his family of their relationship, it was as if he had committed a crime. His mother looked at him with disgust. "Arthur, look at her. She is not our kind of people." His sister laughed bitterly. "People will mock us. They will say you couldn't find someone worthy." His father was the harshest. "You are throwing away your legacy for a woman who offers nothing." Arthur answered only one sentence. "She offers everything your world has never given me." They did not approve. They did not attend the wedding willingly. They stood there, stiff, disapproving, whispering behind fake smiles. But Helena stood at the altar glowing. Not because of her dress, not because of makeup or jewels, but because love lived in her eyes. Life with Helena changed Arthur completely. They cooked simple meals together. They walked barefoot in parks. They watched sunsets from rooftops. They visited orphanages where children hugged without reservation. They sat with elders who told stories of joy and regret. And Arthur, for the first time, felt the texture of life, the taste of presence. But the world, when it cannot control something, tries to destroy it. A massive financial crisis hit his family's business. Investments crumbled. Markets crashed. Executives panicked. His family was thrown into despair. They screamed, blamed, accused. They saw everything slipping away like sand between their fingers. One night, the family gathered in desperation, arguing about how to salvage their empire. And Helena, who had remained silent until then, stepped forward. Her voice was calm, steady, resonant. "You are afraid because you believe your worth is tied to what you own," she said. "But money can disappear. Status can vanish. Beauty fades. Power ends. And when all of that is gone, what remains?" No one answered. Helena placed her hand over her heart. "This. What lives here. How we love. How we care. How we show up for each other. This is wealth. This is identity. This is life." Her words broke something open in the room. The mother began to cry. The father lowered his head. The sister covered her mouth with her hands. Because in that moment, they understood. They understood that the woman they had mocked was the richest among them. Over time, the family changed. Slowly, gently, Arthur's father apologized. His mother began visiting Helena just to learn how to breathe again. His sister stopped judging people she didn't understand. Helena did not just transform Arthur. She healed an entire family. Arthur never returned to the life he once had. He didn't need to. He had found something deeper. Something the world can't see, but the soul cannot live without. Love. Real love. Love that nourishes. Love that stays. Love that sees. And now, if this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that awaken compassion, reflection, and truth. Thank you for being here. And remember, the greatest treasure in this life is not what we hold in our hands, but what we carry inside the heart.